Hey, everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoble, and you're on the lifeboat. What's happening? Hope you're having a good night. We made it through halfway through the week, people. It's not such a bad thing, is it? The question today is why we settle. This is a good one. It really is. This is something that debilitates addicts, probably more than most. Everybody does this, but addicts especially. People coming out of trauma, which addicts are. Pray for the Midwest. Good call. Thank you. Dom's mom, good to see you. Ben Bacon Bits, how are you? Shannon Smith, Kristen Melinda, good to see you. Howdy. And Hummingbird, good to see you. Kelly V69, how are you? Matrix Rabbit, how are you? Subi, Sweet Liberty, Jen Marie, Midwest Kid Doc, good to see you. Hi, Casey, how are you? Izzy, Evie, Iced Autumn, Layla, come here, money. Looking good in black. Been off smoking tobacco for 3 years today. Boy, that's a long time. It's 1,095 days, isn't it? Isn't that 1,095 days? Pretty sure it's 1,095 days or somewhere in there. That's a long time with no tobacco. Good for you. That is worthy. That is worthy of being really stoked about. Boy, tell me you don't feel better. Tell me food doesn't taste better. Tell me walking up and down stairs isn't easier. Right? One small step massively changes your life. Massively changes your life. Wow. Got somebody driving through the grassy knoll. It's not good. Pajama Pixie. Hey, Shatsy, what's happening? Z-Dub. Mary Jones. Mary Jones, I was drinking from your coffee mug earlier. Hand of the Blind Kitty, my morning show. I think I had your coffee mug. Love that coffee mug. Jeremy Fowler. Good to see you. Deeming. Tammy. SD Cat Lover. Jody Kelly. You're a lurker that's been here a year. Thank you to the person who gifted me a membership. Loved Tommy's yoga. Well, Jody Kelly, I'm glad that you're here. Here's what we're going to do on the yoga stuff. I'll be releasing it to members early, and then we're going to release it to everybody. I'm going to do a lot of stuff that will be released to members that get it early, and then we're going to give it to everybody. I think these are things that everybody needs. I feel really jacked up keeping it out of the hands of people, but I do love all of you that support this. It really goes to a pretty decent cause. And we're doing some amazing stuff in 2024. Pretty damn happy about it. Why the hell do we settle? For real, because we all do it. Virtually everybody here has settled in something, and you know exactly when I said settle. Oh, you didn't even have to think about it, did you? Might not be your. It might not be your marriage. Uh-oh, this could be really important. Hold on one second. Hello. I'm sorry. How are you? I'm live right now. All right. Is this an emergency?
He'll be right back. Oh, it looks like he's back.
Sorry, everybody. This happens a lot. It is one of those things that happens on a lifeboat. And there's a lot of people pretty freaked out because of what's happened in the Midwest. We have a lot of lifeboaters that live right there. No, if I was needed elsewhere, I would have bailed. I promise. But there are a lot of people who are very, very worried about people in the Midwest. And where that particular stuff touched down, there are a lot of people that we cared about pretty deeply. And there are lifeboaters who are there currently right now. And one in particular, Mark Wages is everybody's pretty worried that we can't get a hold of him currently. There is a lot happening in these parts, to be sure. I have not heard from Mark, and that's got a lot of people concerned, and that is what I was doing on my phone. So I apologize. I'm probably going to be texting him a couple of more times. Here's the thing with him. I love him more than, like a brother. I really do. However, sometimes he's not great about getting back to you in a reasonable period of time, no matter what. Is it? Yeah, that's the storms. Everybody's pretty freaked out. And I understand that. I really do. I've been out of touch. There's been some pretty rugged storms. Yeah, there's some pretty rugged storms. But we're going to keep thoughts and prayers with all our people, right? And then we're going to keep doing what we do. The internet is likely out. I remember when the Twin Towers were struck. All of my friends were in New York. I mean, everybody I worked with were New Yorkers. I was a speaker, and we worked out of New York. And I was convinced that I lost everybody I knew because you could not get a hold of anybody. Couldn't get a hold of one of my friends. But that was because so many people were trying to make phone calls at the same time that it literally shut down. Yeah, Calhoun does remember that morning. Probably, as we describe how things are burned into your memory, based on how the striatum works and how on those really emotionally charged days, it's always a lot more rugged. And boy, that was one of them, wasn't it? That was really one of them. But we're going to continue to work, and my brother Mark's going to reach out to us as soon as he can. And I have faith. I have faith. Sydney Plumley, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it was lovely weather that day. Phones across the country were jammed, and often cell towers are locked down due to usage as well. It's absolutely a fact. It absolutely was a fact. You were in the 9th grade. Oh, wow. You made me feel wicked old. You were in the what grade? I was in the, I don't want to talk about it. Tommy Nagarette, good to see you. Roberta, glad you're here. Hey, V. So why do we settle? Right? Why do we settle? There are all kinds of things that we settle in. You may not be driving the car you want, right? I mean, honestly, if you had the ability to go get what you want, would you be driving what you're driving right now? Maybe not, right? Maybe not. You can drive whatever you want, and maybe it'd be German, right? Maybe it'd be Italian. Maybe it'd be ridiculous. I don't know. So, whatever you're into. But you can't afford it. You can't justify it, right? The risk, justification, plays a big one, doesn't it? We accept the love we think we deserve, says Jen Murray. Well, I'll tell you what. No one is ever going to love you more than you love yourself. I promise. You're going to set the bar, and the person that you get with is not going to love you any higher than that. Bank on it. And if you set the bar at your knees, and that's how you feel about yourself, that's where your mate is going to get to, no matter how hard they try. It's impossible. It really is. It's impossible. So it's really important that you start a love affair with yourself. Because I'll be honest, the reason we settle is we don't think we deserve. Right? We do not believe that we are deserving of the things that we get. So for that reason, we go, how many times have you uttered a phrase like, that woman's out of my league, or that guy is out of my league, right? The hell does that mean? What does that mean? They're better than you? I don't like this league concept, to be really honest with you. I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But if you want to go with it, what does it mean? They're better than you? They're what? Hotter than you? Lighter? Tanner? What are we going for? They have a nicer cat. Well, that would be legit. But for all this other stuff. If we treat ourselves poorly, then we teach people to do the same. We accept it, right? I promise you, if you present yourself as a doormat, people will wipe their feet on you. And you say, I don't do that. I don't present myself as a doormat, Tommy. I promise you. It's not like I walk up and say, kick me. Do you walk up like this? Huh? Do you walk up with your shoulders rolled forward? Do you look like you roll your shoulders back a little bit, stand up a little, right? Present like you're happy with who you are. I promise you, it'll go a long way. It will go a long way. You change your physiology, then you will absolutely change your psychology. It's not an easy thing to do, I promise. But it's impossible to do unless you start. Right? Set a goal tomorrow. Say you're going to spend 30 minutes smiling through every single thing that you say. Try to spend 30 minutes with a crap-eating grin on your face. It doesn't even have to be faking it. See this? I don't have to be happy to put a smile on my face, right? It takes hundreds of muscles. Do you know that? It's one of the most complicated things. Everything that goes on to make you smile is one of the most complicated things that happens in the body. There are literally hundreds of muscles flexing and doing crazy things to make us smile. Try to bust that face there, Iced Autumn. Try to bust that face. Because I'll tell you something. The physiology will absolutely change you. Spend 5 minutes trying to talk with a smile on your face, and you're going to find that it changes how you feel, whether you want it to or not. Do you know why? Because our brain has associated for our entire time on this globe that when we're doing this, good stuff is happening, right? We don't smile when someone comes up and says, hey, all that money in your bank account's missing. That's awesome. Nobody does that, right? No, you smile when they say the lottery ticket hit. Right? You smile when the girl says yes after you ask her out. There's a lot of truth to the ripple thing. There is a lot of truth to the ripple thing. And the really funny thing is, Truman got me to a full body giggle workout. Been there, B. Hendricks. I've tricked myself into a good mood more times than not with a smile. Thing is, it makes other people's day as well. They can't believe it. And before you know, they're smiling too, and the ripples begin. And the funny thing is, the ripples will go straight back at you. I promise. Start smiling. Watch what happens to the people around you. It is reflected. It is reflected joy. Are we faking it till we make it? No, you're living as if you're happy. That's not a faking it. You're not walking up and going, I'm happy. For all I care, you can walk up and go, I'm having the worst day I've ever had, but do it with a big smile on your face. For 5 minutes, you'll watch it. It will change. Your physiology will absolutely change your psychology. There's no way around this. This is a fact. Think I'm wrong? Try it. You'll feel silly in the beginning. I promise you will. What the hell happened to my water? There it is. It's camouflaged, you see. Yeah, you do something nice for people and you will feel great about yourself. And there is science behind this. Do you understand? This is a very intelligent thing to do. No joke. Now, do you feel weird doing it? You betcha. You're going to feel like Stuart Smalley from Saturday Night Live. You're good enough. You're smart enough. And doggone it, people like you. Nice, Izzy. That sounds like a legit way to absolutely, it's going to sound silly. Flip-flops. Flip-flops. I put on flip-flops. It is very difficult to walk around and be bummed out while you're going clip, 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 clip everywhere you're walking. There's some flashback to being a kid. There's some flashback to being poolside or being at the ocean or whatever, but My water was camel flagged. It was absolutely. It was very difficult to see. You can rewire your brain and change your thinking with practice. If you couldn't, we would not have 142 people here, right? Because my brain was wired for one thing and one thing only, but not anymore, right? So we settle. One of the large reasons because we don't think we deserve anything better than that, right? That's one of the reasons. One of the other reasons that we settle, right, is because truthfully and honestly, we're afraid of happiness. We're afraid of success. We're afraid of joy. We're afraid of anything that falls outside of the norms that we've had our entire life. Now, if you've been living a hump existence, right, at your own hand, you've been getting high every day, you've been doing things that are making you less than you would like to be, right? Then you start to feel like the only thing that makes sense to you is your baseline setting, which is misery. I use the gambler as an example because the gambler is just such a perfect example as an addict, right? Make $100,000 and you will sit at the table until you give the 100 back. Why would you do that? Doesn't make any sense, right? With 100K, you're out of it. Well, because you're not there for the money. It's got nothing to do with the money. It's got nothing to do with the money. The buzz, right? The buzz literally is the hope that the next one isn't that 100,000. The next one's going to be the 15 million. It's going to be the one that retires you. You'd give it all back even then, right? But I remember, I honestly had a friend that called me and said, I just hit the jackpot that's going to make it so that I never gamble again. This is it. I am out, right? I am never going to be a gambler again. That's it. I'm done. I said, fan-freaking-tastic, bro. You want to go get something to eat? Huh? You want to go get something to eat? He said, yeah, I'd love that. But I'm going to put 400 back into this. I said, what? Because it was like, 60 G's and 400 or, 61,400. He said, I'm just going to put the 400 in and then I'll meet you outside. He didn't come out. And I went in, but he didn't come out after that either. I gamble for the money, says Shannon Smith. You may not be addicted to gambling, right? You may not. I mean, there are a lot of people who gamble who are not addicted to gambling. And they go in there absolutely hoping to win money. But the gambling addict does not gamble for money. The gambling addict gambles because that split second before the card turns over or the split second while the wheels are turning, right? There's that dopamine hit and there is that you're right on the edge about to fall over. And that kind of dopamine is really addicting to some people, right? I don't know what's about to happen in the next split second. Hope, 25 bucks at a shot. But the people who are addicted to gambling are in there because when that feeling is going on, they don't think about the fact that their life sucks. They don't think about the fact that their kids aren't doing well in school. They don't think about the fact that the wife's cheating on them. They don't think about the fact that that mom loved, brother more or sister more or whatever, okay? Or any of the stuff that happened to us. That is the buzz. You go, that doesn't make any sense. How about people who drag a sharp implement across their arm or leg as a way to feel relief? Does that make sense to you? Of course not. No more than sticking a needle in your arm makes sense to the vast majority of you. But to those of us for whom it makes sense, it makes a wild amount of sense. It's the only thing that did make sense. Whether it be self-harm, whether it be the needle, whether it be whatever, it takes away something. Because nothing ever gets given to you by any of these habits. You don't get squat. Addiction takes something away from you. No, it gives me courage. No, it takes away fear. Don't kid yourself. It doesn't take away, it does not give you courage. It takes away fear, makes you stupid. It takes away. It takes away pain. It takes away suffering. It takes away memories. It takes away the realization that you blew it. But we spend so much time at that base level that when we begin to rise above it, we get that feeling that we're so uncomfortable in our own skin. It's like my boy. He hit $60,400, right? He didn't used to having $60,400 in his pocket. You know what that makes him? A winner. He doesn't know how to be a winner. Brain can't handle it. Literally. You understand? It's so far off the baseline. The baseline for him is I have no money in my pocket. I got to start hustling people so I can come back tomorrow and lose more money. Same thing for me, except I had no hope of a payout. My payout was just that I wasn't going to hurt for 8 hours. That was the payout. I wasn't going to care about all of the things that made me a junkie. I wasn't going to let any of those things bother me. You understand? But it's the same for every single person who's getting high. And it doesn't matter what they're getting high. I love this, Christy. Christy says, I used to settle. Then I thought I'd found the one. Nope. But now I pick me. How about? It works, doesn't it? That works. And in doing that, Cosmic Christy can rewire and reset this entire procedure. I promise. Because what's going to happen is pretty soon, Cosmic Christy is going to begin to love herself more than she did. And the next person she meets, just like the last person, will love you as much as you love yourself. They're never going to love you more than you love yourself. Get good at loving yourself. I can't, Tommy, I'm broken. I can't, Tommy, I screwed up. Hello. You did not screw up me. Want to get out of jail free pass for real? You're not going to get one. It just doesn't happen. But wouldn't beat the pistoli out of yourself either, because nobody in their right mind does the things that we did. Yeah? Nobody in their right mind robs more than one bank. Shelley Kelly, nobody in their right mind gambles away fortunes, right? Takes cash on credit cards to gamble. Shelley Kelly is 16 years without placing a bet. But during that time, the default setting is desperation. Okay? Got to get back up there because the next one's going to be the one to get you out of it. We're all in the same boat, right? You dig this? Thank you, Sir Tedrick Walker. What a kind thing to say. I mean it. That is a very, very kind thing to say. I shot the second yoga video. I'm going to release that out to the members, and then the following day it'll get out to you guys. But I did shoot the next one. We settle or we marry our parents, says Deeming. Interesting. Ray, get out there and go to AA tomorrow. I think it's a great idea, brother. It really is. Can't have enough peer support. Wow. Huh? Would you believe me? Would you believe me if I told you that I was going to talk about this? The only thing worse than settling is realizing that someone else settled for you. Shelley says, that's my first marriage in a nutshell. I think a lot of people have experienced this. The realization that the person you're with said, well, it's not perfect, right? But nobody is. His voice kind of annoys me. I kind of wish he was a little bit taller. By the time they're done with the wish list, you're thinking to yourself, what the hell are you doing with me? Right? What are you doing with me? Well, I'm settling. Obviously, I'm settling. It's funny. My brother Johnny used to work phone rooms and help to to facilitate people coming in to dating services and matching services, matching and dating services. And it's funny because people would come in and the guy comes in and he's, 67 years old. And you fill out the paper and you say what you're interested in. You say, I would like women who are just blonde or redhead. And I would like them to be 5'7", say 135 pounds, preferably kind of busty. And I would be really happy if she was, say, 25. And you got to look at the person and go, you're hoping for 25-year-olds who are wildly attractive and fit to go out with you at 65 or 70? Yeah. Oh, yeah, cool. No problem. There's a ton of women in here that are looking exactly for that. And they go, really? And you go, no, of course not. I mean, holy hell. I can sit here and lie to you, but come on, like, maybe stay in the lane, okay? I mean, they're settling. And then there's being overly ambitious. No, I threw that in there for Anna Nicole. It was my way of trolling to see if she was in the audience, to be really honest with you. It was an Anna Nicole troll. You peel the skin off of your hands? Oh, goodness, don't do that. We settle people because we train for doing it from a very, very young age. We really do. Raise your hand if you got, in high school, did you get the person you wanted to go to the prom with was perfect and you did that through every grade? More often than not, people look at a girl like Charlie Brown did, right? The little red-haired girl that he's not going to have the guts to ever go up and ask out or talk to, for that matter. It's frightening. The amount of settling that happens is frightening. Your requirement was 6 foot, blonde hair, and blue eyes, and your hubby overperformed. He's 6'2". Excellent. You've got to love it. The two wolves thing, says Sweet Liberty. Do you know that appears? I've talked about this on the boat before, but the two wolves thing appeared on a sign at a trailhead, and I talked about this way back when, years ago. I talked about this on the lifeboat. Can you realize the number of people that gave me crap? They're like, why are there wolves involved? And why do you have to hurt animals? I was like, bro, it's a parable. There aren't any wolves there. This is a parable, man. You were infatuated with your prom date, but he was gay. Guess what? I went to a prom date. My prom date turned out to be gay too. How about that? In fact, I went to two. I went to 2 proms, and both of my prom dates later on turned out to be gay. I've had a bad run with that, actually. You know what? I love where this is going. I'm glad. Pajama Pixie says, I will say this, making a list and being rigid about it can be limiting. You pass on someone because they aren't 5'10" and blonde, you might miss something wonderful. I agree. 100%. I agree 100%. Now, may I make a suggestion? May I make a suggestion? Throw all that crap out. Throw all that crap out. Forget about, look, if you cannot, if you are repulsed by people of a certain height, okay, well then maybe you gotta, but what I have found is this. People will say, do you have a type? I do. Right. There's some hair color things, but you know what my type is? Honestly, you got to be able to communicate in a really big way. Right? You really got to be able to communicate, because to me, that's where it's really going to be the rubber meeting the road. First of all, I'm not 26, but if I were 26, right? Because I do remember those days, where you chased your date around the house all day. But if you were 26, you're going to get intimate for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, right? What are you, crazy? 3 hours a day. And then you got to talk to that person, right? You have to be able to have a conversation with that person. Why do we settle? My tight, nice feet. Well, it helps. Let's say, oh wait, is she here? Is that why one of you said that? Is that why one of you said it? Ann Hummingbird, my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Ann. And we really hope you're feeling better and completely healed. Thank you so much. That incredibly generous. I love it. Everybody's turning green. Is that a Kermit song? Or it's not easy being green, something like that. Oh, Jody Kelly says, after 40 years married, I found my hubby is my best friend. You want to hear something? It's all I ever wanted. That's no joke. That's all I ever wanted. That would be the perfect match, the perfect type. Have them be your best friend. You could really do a whole lot worse than being married to your best friend. I think that's beautiful, Jody. I really do. I think that's absolutely beautiful. But we settle, don't we? Hey, I saw Anna Nicole. I just went by. Where is she? Hey, Anna Nicole. Good to see you. It's not easy being green. There you go. Lisa, shoot me another email. The other watch person I am corresponding with. I won't put her on blast, but I'm corresponding with. So shoot me another email because I'm fixing all of the people that I couldn't get a hold of. If you're a watch person that didn't get me, please reshoot the emails. I'm talking to a lot of watch people. I'm fixing it. She's here, says Ben. You know why I couldn't see her, Ben? Your freaking hands were in the way. Sorry, I'm just saying. If he gets those puppies between you and whatever you're looking at, there's no hope. I'm telling you, the man's hands are bigger than mine. Dude's got meat hooks. Dude's got really, really serious meat hooks. My type is kind, integrity, sense of humor, and my kids have to like him. Cat, well played. Well played. But I'll tell you something funny, right? I will tell you something funny. Look at this. You ladies are saying things like, my type is intelligence, nice teeth is important, loyal, romantic, tough ass dude, doesn't hurt, right? I'm a winner. Crazy, I love it. Now, you people, right? You ladies, you design men differently. Your mate is designed a whole lot differently than guys design their mates. Guys will say to you, I want her to be, and they will describe physical characteristics. Women will describe things like intelligence or sense of humor, or I need him to be able to make me laugh, or I need him to be able to, there needs to be confidence. He just needs to come across like he's not worried about things or whatever. But it's funny that those things seem to be really important when you're 16. They're a little less important when you're 26, right? At 36, if they're still important, you probably should start journaling. And you know what? I'm not even being funny. Maybe try psilocybin a little bit, right? Maybe check your ego and your super ego and see what's going on. But if you're still grooving to that stuff and if you're still picking your mate out at 45 feet and you're in your 30s and 40s, it might be time to rewire. For real. Because you're going to end up missing out on some of the most beautiful things in life if you end up. And I'm horrifically shallow, by the way. I wrote the book on shallow. But you do outgrow it. I promise you do. I mean, I wrote the book on shallow. We used to watch Seinfeld and be like, I don't know why they pick on these people for being shallow. They're not shallow. Like, I wouldn't go out with anybody that had hands that big. Like the man hands episode. Excuse me. You have something on your face. The hands are bigger than mine. I absolutely love that. You told Reese you would gift her I hope Reese got one of the memberships that you just gifted. Because if not, she's going to be really upset because I'm putting more yoga up and it's only going to be for members tomorrow. I'm so glad that I threw my type out the window and married my best friend, Regina. That's what I'm talking about. You know what, people? That should be your type. That should be your type. Find your best friend and marry him or her. Do it. Do it. I thought I did it. I swear to God, I thought I did it. I really did. But you know what? The greatest laid plans of mice and men. Why do we settle? Laura FM. Do you know I was watching you earlier? I even threw out a "Hey Laura, I love you," and I didn't even get a response. I was literally beside myself. I was butthurt. I was whimpering. All right, I can't back any of that up. But I really did say hello to you. And you look marvelous out there, raising hell in the sun. Good day out there today. Why do we settle? Well, because we are trained to. We really are, aren't we? It's one of those things. I mean, we would like to buy this phone. We would like to buy this watch. We would like to buy these shoes. We would like to buy. However, we have to weigh how much we really want something against how much it's going to cost, maybe how long it will last. That friggin' mindset goes into other parts of our life that it should never, ever, ever cross into. Right? If you're shopping for love and friendship like you do products, don't, for real. For real. It's a frightening concept. A few paws and a wagging tail always do it for me. Rolling Stone, I love it. I had a friend, well, one of my best friends, a lady, used to say to me that everything you ever needed to know in life, you could learn from a dog. And they're up at 5 a.m., right? And their tails are wagging, and they're right by the door, ready to go, right? They're fired up and ready to go. The second your feet hit the ground, they're just happy as hell. Squirrel nut's the same way. I wake up and that cat is happy as hell. I'm awake. It's like, ooh, look, he's here, right? I'm having a great night, Lori Lee. I am having a great night. Laura and Reese, right? On the lifeboat at the same time. Holy hell. You realize that if I could pick a couple of people from SPTV to have here, it would probably be the two I would have picked. Really would have. Yeah, Laura's all over the place. You know why Laura's all over the place, don't you? Seriously? She stopped dropping F-bombs every other word. I mean, not that she's, I don't know we could church her up enough to bring in front of Moscowville, but she certainly is cut back. And she's awesome. Cricket, good to see you. Tampa B, there you are. You are lucky I'm talking to you. Seems awfully late in the day for you to show up. Pie for Steve. Huckleberry Man, love that. Christie's Boutique. My daughter just got married, and I've been amazed to see she and her husband communicate well through hard situations. I have never had that in a partner. I'm sorry to hear that, Christy. Most of us haven't. But you know what? You think of how much time we spend learning to do things that are stupid and trivial. But we spend way more time learning how to drive a stick shift than we do sitting down with the person we're going to spend the rest of our life with and say, let's come up with a plan about what we're going to do when we fight. There's a thought. Let's have a plan, right? Something gets bad and your feelings get hurt or my feelings get hurt. And one of us says something stupid, what can we do? We got a safe word. What do we got? How can we put this together so that we have a plan for what happens when things get ugly? But we don't do stuff like that. Well, we would plan for, a fishing trip or a vacation because those things are friggin' important. But to plan how I'm going to communicate with the person I want to spend my life with, nah, way overrated. You're about to hit La Poubelle in 30 minutes. You know what? I will pop over there and check you out, Laura. I hate La Poubelle. By the way, if you're in LA and you have ever eaten in that restaurant, shame on you. For real, it's not a restaurant. And I can't say what it is on here, but you know what it is. It's a bunch of scumbags that cater to people that victimize women as a lifestyle. God forgive me, but I would love to see something really bad happen to that place. Hopefully they're just going to go out of business and disappear. Bad people. Really, bad people. CJ Harris, that's a kind thing to say. I am very happy to have put it up. I want people to get up and start walking around. Oh, no. Would you look at this? There'll be no living with her. She figured out how to do this before I did. There will be no living with her now. Oh, I was really hoping to pull that off before she did. What? Well, it's so good to have you. You look fantastic in green. You really do. So good to see you. I just want a best friend that makes me laugh and that I'm attracted to. I feel I'm on a futile search. Aha! You're not allowed to be on a search. Number one. Number two, you're not allowed to feel that way. We don't look in the right places. We don't, right? First of all, looking is a concept that, for those of us that may have married more than one person, you know when they show up every time? When you stop looking for them. I promise. But I want that for you too, Lisa. I want that for every man and woman on this boat today. I want that. Your mate should become your best friend. Now, let's say your mate's not your best friend, right? Now, sometimes it's because you settled for something you shouldn't have. Sadly, that's a fact. But sometimes it's because we married somebody that was fantastic and then we beat the crap out of him or her, right? I don't mean literally, but small little things. So, we nitpick and we find the stupidest things to argue about, and the stupidest things that something pushes your mate's buttons and you do it anyway. Why? Because she did something to piss you off 4 days ago, right? She did something to make you mad a week ago, but you didn't handle it at the time, right? You just put it away and you're a little bitter about that. You haven't really talked the last 4 times you've been in an automobile. Man, get it together. Snap out of it. For real. If you're listening to me and you've pissed a couple of years away with people that you love, fix it. Fix it. I got an email from someone today thanking me because the lifeboat talked them into repairing a relationship with a relative of theirs who passed away yesterday. But for 4 or 5 months before this person passed away, they got together every other day. It's a beautiful freaking thing. You know it? Those are ripples that are going to go on forever. We're not making much of an effort. I'm sorry, we're not. You know how many people out there go, I can't find a mate. I'm never going to find a mate. Did you try to connect with people at all? I mean, honestly, do you try to connect with people? Because I promise no one's going to go, hello, is Kimberly here? I'm fate. We're going to get married today. Get your stuff. Got your big rockets in the car. I promise you're going to dig this. Get your stuff. It's a little overnight bag. I'll do the rest. I'm going to buy you everything else you need. Grab some undies, right? A couple of Victoria's Secret outfits, and we are out of here. Right? Pick an island. We're going to get married. Guess what? Ain't going to happen. Not going to happen to the guys either. I promise. The beautiful girl is not going to come up to the front door and go, hey, Tommy, I just thought I would show up. And you got to start getting connected. Just Pauline. This is her year. I mean that. Just Pauline, I'm so glad that you are here. My appreciation and love to the crew and to our captain. Thank you so much. That's so cool. And I'm glad you're here. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Laura Lee says, my husband and I are complete opposites. I'm a wild one, and he's a goody-goody. And we keep each other balanced. You're the wild one, and he's the goody-goody. I love it. I've pretty much always been the wild one. Maybe next time I'll be the next time. But if there was, I'm a little behind. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cosmic Christie, love yous. You're all right. You know what? You really are all right. Well, there's a man in the funny papers we all know. Tommy, I'm trying to get a life outside YouTube. Got me right. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Huh? I love it. I really do. Jen Marie, good for you. You know what, man? Cursing's a little bit overrated. I mean, look, you hit yourself in the thumb and say whatever you want, right? But I'm a little bummed out that we've reached a point where it's completely okay to just drop any language you want in any company, right? It may sound sexist or whatever, but when I was growing up, you just didn't drop F bombs around women. It just wasn't something that was done. And all guys talked like sailors, but they didn't do it around women. It was just considered bad form. And maybe that's sexist, but I don't know. Just that's always the way it was with us. But now you see things done around women you would not believe. I could tell you a story right now that would blow your mind, but I can't do it because I heard it in confidence. So I'm not allowed to tell you, but it's just one of those disturbing people. We are really we're in a tailspin. That's great advice. That really is. It's really solid advice. Advice I give men about women is make her laugh by actually connecting as who you are. Prioritize understanding her enough to make her laugh. Will do more than anything to impress her. Love that. Love that. Guys, you want a huge secret for real? You want to learn how to connect with women like that? Just, I mean, as simple as, hey, a new member, could you be a new member again? Or how somehow did I screw this up? I did. I blame Calhoun. This honestly shouldn't be as difficult as we make it. It should not. But we don't communicate. We start out with the best of intentions, but we stop communicating really, really early on. And you know all of the cliches, right? Do not go to bed angry at one another. But you do, right? You don't the first 4 years. You just don't. And I would never do that. I'm not going to bed. And then one night you just screw it. I'm not fixing this. We settle because the first time something started to grind on you, you didn't do anything about it. The first time that little bit of grit, right, started to get in, right, it just caused a little bit of friction. You didn't do a damn thing about it. The first time the person that you love did something that bummed you the hell out, you thought, you know what? I can tell him that this drives me nuts, but it might hurt his feelings, and I can live with it. You know what I mean? I can live with it. Oh, don't do that. Don't. Get good at being able to say to people, I don't want to hurt your feelings. That noise that you're making drives me insane. Is there a way we can figure out, right? Figure out how that sentence comes out without hurting the person you're with. I promise it can be done. But don't figure it out while they're making the noise. I mean it. Figure it out before you get rolling. Sit down and talk about things like communication, right? Talk about things like rules. Could you imagine? How about rules? Can you imagine rules? You think it's possible? Like, I'm not going to raise my voice at you in an argument. It'd be a good one, wouldn't it? We're not going to do that. We're taking that one off the table. Do you know something? I just read something that said too late, too much time has passed. I cannot in any way, shape, or form ever answer to anyone and their timetables. I can't. I don't know. I don't. I do remember, though. I do remember sitting in front of a judge who said to me, after they've done it as long as you have, they don't come back. Right? You'll be in here for the rest of your life because after they've done it as long as you have, they can't come back. Right? 30 years of sticking needles in my arms or whatever. He knew it. He was 100%. Nope, guys like you. So I don't know. The really effed up thing is I walked out of that courtroom that day believing him. They really did. I mean, for a chunk of time, I did dope for about 3 more years in prison, obviously, but every day. Yeah. What's cool is that excuse me, that judge actually knows about the lifeboat. When he let me off, I think we had 10,000 subs or something like that. So he knew it was actually a thing. And as I've said before, I told him I was going to be doing this before he sentenced me. I said, don't put me away for a long time. I'd really like to try to do something good. He wasn't buying it. You know why? Too much time had gone by. I was a career criminal. I was a habitual criminal offender. I was a guy that did heroin for 30 years. Those people don't come back. Too far gone. Right? Too far gone. I've come to believe, and I am a worthless, cockeyed optimist. I'll tell you right now, I'm an idiot. I really am. But every day I get questions from people that say, can they be too far gone? Can you get to a point where it's over and there's no coming back? Are there people that can't be saved? Maybe. But if I believe that there's a person out there that can't be saved, then I need to let somebody else sit in this chair. Right? Because then I'll start picking and choosing which ones. Well, that one's not going to make it. No reason to talk to him. Well, that one might make it. Especially because she's blonde and has cute feet. Right? Start going down a pretty dangerous path when you start picking and choosing, the winners and losers. I'm just going to go with that. Everybody's got a shot of getting out. And the ones that we can't, we gave it hell, right? That's it. How do you know when someone's too broke? Well, I don't believe anybody's too broke. I don't. I was pretty friggin' messed up. If Ray, because you ain't that busted up either, man. I've seen worse. Although I do have an audio I can play for you sometime where you were just, woof. I did have a really good audio of him once. Man, I did tell him, in my defense, I said, Ray, I'm going to record this because later on you might want to hear it. You're right. We do not have to stay with anybody who treats us like garbage. And by the way, we're not going to save them, right? We're just going to stick around until they save themselves. That's what it is. You're not going to go in there and wave some friggin' magic wand, because if that could be done, I wouldn't sleep, people. I'd be waving that thing. I'd be running up and down the Kensington and right, be in Vancouver. I'll be in every city where there are people laying dead in the streets from dope. I promise. But that magic wand doesn't exist. So what we have to do is we have to be kind to one another. Somebody left a message. I think I'll finish up with this. But somebody left a message on the video that I did with Reese, the last one that I did with Reese. And it was a heavy comment. It really was. Maybe too heavy to talk about here. But it was a comment in reference to something that she said last night. And it was people, there was SA qualities, right? Those kind of assaults was neither of them had actually been assaulted, but they were talking about, it was the subject that was being brought up. And it was heavy. I mean, freaking heavy. And what the person said was when they go to counseling, they show all of the symptoms of somebody who is a survivor of SA, but they aren't. But sometimes you can be almost SA'd psychologically. Now, I promise you, I can't wrap my head around this. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist and that it's real. I believe 100% it is. I cannot understand it. Doesn't mean that I can't try wholeheartedly to help. It doesn't mean that I won't shove all my chips in the middle of the table to try to feel your pain. I'm going to fail. But in the process of failing, I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to learn a little bit more about something that you're a better person by learning a little bit more about. And maybe the next time I meet somebody, again, I'll fall short of feeling their pain. I don't think you can fully appreciate that if it hasn't happened. That's why we put groups together of people who are all sort of suffering from the same common thing, yeah? But this connection stuff jumps curbs. It does. Because here I am, and I promise you, I have absolutely no way to relate to what she's talking about. It's way outside my wheelhouse. But she can't relate to being in a maximum security prison and getting the crap kicked out of you like a piñata, right? No way. But I promise she's trying to feel my pain as much as I'm trying to feel hers. A pretty heavy duty experiment, man. Real. Right? Yeah, we're not always going to do well, people. I mean, holy hell, we're in some deep waters. We're treading with stuff that there's a lot of people here that have been through a lot of stuff. But the fact that we're all trying to help one another, even if your suffering and my suffering don't really look alike. Right? But what happens is we keep micro grouping down, right? We keep micro grouping down and we keep micro grouping down, and you get niche. And pretty soon, what you're doing is I will listen to content, providing the content is created by somebody who likes heavy metal, right? And believes in God, but believes in God, providing you worship him only in this way, right? And preferably blonde. And you also have to vote, this particular party affiliate. And by the time you're freaking done, there were 9 people in the chat. And it is an echo chamber that is so unbelievable that every single person there agrees with every single other thing that everybody else says, right? Doesn't work. You understand? It doesn't work. We need to start macroing this crap, not microing it. The problem with echo chambers are they're not echo chambers for long. They become amplifiers. And the biggest ass in the room, his voice begins to get amplified. And where you all started out with just something like, it would be really good if we just made sure that everybody that does X, Y, or Z is this type of individual. It's like the border. You start out with people who want to just make sure that no drugs are coming across the border. But if you get a loud enough echo chamber full of people who yell that, then the loudest voices start to pull out. And you got people who are like, shoot everybody coming across, and it gets dangerous. It gets dangerous. Not only do you learn nothing in an echo chamber, hey, Scoob, please be careful. Huh? Hello, Janet G. Glad you're jumping in. Scoob, please be careful. But you understand what I'm saying? We got to stop paring ourselves down. I can't talk to you. You didn't vote for the same person I voted for. Oh, no, I did. Okay, cool. But how do you feel about this, and this? Right? Do our pronouns match? Does this match? Does that match? How far down can I pare this shit until we're literally, guess what? Linda Lou Who. That is odd. I love the Linda Lou Who reference though. Pretty big fan of old Theodore Geisel. Big fan. Big fan. They're canceling him. Apparently he was racist. Not being funny. They're pulling Dr. Seuss books out. Oh, I loved Dr. Seuss. Divided we fall. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the more you can divide it down, and it's a hell of a lot easier to advertise to them too, right? If everybody there agrees with everybody, then well, pretty easy stuff, pretty easy to advertise to. That's why that's a joke, people. It really is. It really is. Your cat is banned, Belinda Lou. She's a calico. I don't know where my cat is. She's on strike. This is I think this is the second gig today, or was she in the boat this morning? Was she in the on the boat this morning? I'm not sure if she was. Gotta love ourselves first. No one's going to love you. What's the best advice I ever got? Never try to teach a fish to ride a bike. That's the best piece of advice I ever got. Never try to teach a fish to ride a bike. Do you know why? Because it'll waste your time and it will piss off the fish. Sadly, I piss off a bunch of fish. Everybody have a fantastic evening. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and I will see you guys on the next one. Calhounis, say good night.
Good night, everyone.
I would have loved to have been at the Texas Pinball Festival. You know what? Did I do this? I did this. Yes, I did. All right. Love you all. Take it easy. Bye-bye.